Need for Speed is one of the most well-known gaming franchises out there, not just among car enthusiasts, but just in general. It has been around for decades and was still kicking as late as 2022. While I haven't played a lot of the games in the franchise, including the 2005 Most Wanted, Please Don't Hurt Me, I'm sorry, I have been playing the games from the PS3 era onwards. Starting with Carbon, I've been slowly, very slowly, making my way through the franchise with the hopes of getting through all the more modern titles. Of course, with playing these games, I'm also getting the trophies along the way. Now, there were a handful of games that I had already played through in the past years and already got the platinums for, namely Undercover, Shift 1 and Shift 2 Unleashed, Hot Pursuit 2010, and Most Wanted 2012. I was going to get the platinum for Need for Speed The Run, but I was too late to the party and the servers were down before I could get to it, and I couldn't get the online trophies. But speaking of servers closing, what do you know? EA recently announced that it was going to be shutting down the servers for Need for Speed Rivals early October 2025. So, to not have a repeat occurrence of missing another Need for Speed Platinum due to server shutdown, I got the Platinum on Need for Speed Rivals before the servers closed. In fairness, I had already gotten the Platinum for the PS3 version of this game late in 2024, so I did already know a lot of what to expect, which ended up being a good thing because the thing that you should know about this game, if you're looking to quickly get this Platinum, is that this game is not all that great. Like, the driving is fine, the events are alright, and the car selection is serviceable. But for me, there's too many negatives that override the positives this game has. Where do I even start? Okay, let's touch on this game's story. And I say that with the largest quotation marks that I can possibly convey verbally. For both the racer and cop story, yes, there's a campaign for both, you get cutscenes showing a lot of nonsensical clips cobbled together while the most angstiest, brooding, wannabe edgelord you have ever heard gives narration over them. I can't put into words the amount of cringe that is in these monologues. Like, it is an earthquake, a cataclysmic amount of cringe. Like, here, just listen to this. Let's listen to this shit.
I am not you. I am the life you're too scared to live. You are asleep. I am awake. I am the reality show. The catalyst, the 15 minutes you'll never have. You want to know why I do this? I want to know why you don't.
I want to know why you don't. Ooh, I'm so edgy and I see the world so differently. You just wouldn't understand. Like, when I did my first playthrough on the PS3 version, my jaw literally dropped by how hilariously bad it was. And this continues in every chapter. Every single one. The cop career isn't much better, but I'll get to that later. Did you know this game was actually a Dark Souls? You might be asking yourself, how is that possible? I don't have a sword and shield. All I got is 4 wheels and engine and a 13-year-old masquerading as the main protagonist. How was this a Dark Souls? Well, for 2 reasons. First, say goodbye to that pause menu, because when you're out and about driving, you are not able to actively pause the game. Why? I don't fucking know. All I do know is that you can't do it, and it is really, 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 really annoying. The other way this is like a Dark Soul, and this really only applies to the racer career, is that as you drive around, complete events, take out cops, just regular racer things, you'll earn speed points. This is your currency, and you use it to buy new vehicles and pursuit tech, and also upgrade performance parts. However, if your car runs out of health, or you get busted by the cops, you will lose all of it. How much of it? All of it.
Everything!
To avoid this, you have to enter hideouts, which are littered throughout the map. It doesn't matter how many cops are on you. You could be in a chase that's been 15 minutes deep in, you got 8 cops on you, a helicopter, 4 Karens who absolutely want to speak to the manager, and a pissed off Redditor for good measure, and it would not matter still. As soon as you see the prompt to enter the hideout, just poof, you were just immediately safe. remind you of how a certain bonfire from a certain franchise that deals with a thing called Dark Souls operates? Yeah, this game was the secret Dark Souls but with cars game that we never got. Jokes aside, the hideouts do indeed immediately take the heat off of you, even if they did just smash your car 500 feet away. I do have other gripes with this game, but I will cover those as they come up. I haven't even gotten to the trophies yet, so let me get on with that now. At the start of the game, after the first terrible cutscene, you choose to play as either a racer or a cop. It doesn't matter which you choose, because you have to choose the other one for the tutorial anyways. I did the racer first, got the introductions to the hideout menus, and then went to the game to start my first set of tasks called speed lists. For both racers and cops, the aim of the game is to complete sets of tasks that you choose. For racers, they're called speed lists, and for cops, assignments. When you complete the objectives off the list, you need to go back to the hideout or command post when you play as a cop to turn it in, so to speak. This unlocks a new car for you and moves you up a rank. For your first playthrough on both careers, you progress the story by moving up your rank by completing different lists. With each rank, there's 3 lists to choose from, mind you, that are supposed to be themed. One might focus on pure driving, while others focus on being aggressive and making contact with the other vehicles. You can mix and match as you choose, but you will have to end up doing pretty much all of them for trophies anyways. In the Racer tutorial speed list, you will get introduced to a few events that are exclusive to the Racer career, pursuits, and head-to-head challenges. The latter event is actually kind of cool because you can challenge any NPC racer that you get close to in the world and challenge them to a point-to-point sprint. It's probably one of the better examples of this game making use of its open world design. But the former event is the one that I have a major problem with. When you enter a pursuit with cops, you have to either outrun them, wreck them, or enter a hideout to immediately end the chase. Now, in the tutorial, you'll be able to shake off the cop pretty quickly. And admittedly, I was able to lose the cops on other occasions by simply just driving incredibly fast. And with the specific interceptor events, those are also quite easy, as it is almost always against just one singular cop, and you can just wreck it really quickly. But for the pursuits in the open world, yeah, good fucking luck, because they will more often than not stay on your ass no matter how fast you go, and even when there aren't any cops showing up on your mini-map, you could be going damn near Mach 3 and the cops will still be able to catch up to you. What makes this so bad is that the cops are everywhere. And with the open nature of the game, pursuits can happen at any point while you're driving, even during events, which will happen. Doing a time trial, probably going to run into a cop. Doing a race, cops will almost definitely show up during the race, which completely makes the separate hot pursuits events pointless because those events start with cops already chasing you. I swear, I think this game is secretly police propaganda because it almost actively makes you not have a good time being a racer in a Need for Speed game. I know that a good number of fans of this franchise, they like the police chases. And I get that, trying to escape the cops, all cool and stuff. But when you just want to drive around, enjoy the world, maybe take care of some races or some time trials and, just simply enjoy yourself, you get maybe 10 minutes tops before. And you gotta decide if you want to risk finishing your event, try to take out the cop, or go back to the hideout to reset everything. It's just not fun. Goddamn, I'm complaining a lot. Okay, let me just get back to the actual game. After I finish the racer tutorial speed list and go to the hideout, I actually had enough speed points to get my first trophy, first national, for banking 50,000 points at the hideout. From here, I switch over to the cop career and watch their first cutscene. Remember what I said about police propaganda? Okay, watching the cutscenes for the cop career makes me firmer on that stance. Because while the narration is almost just as brooding and dollar store edgy as the racer cutscenes, what is actually being said actually makes some kind of sense. Some of the points that the narrator points out are actually kind of based, and I feel that if actual care was given to this plot, there could be a thought-provoking story here to tell about the hypocrisy that the police officers themselves feel that us citizens give towards them when it comes to certain forms of justice. Actually, you know what? Naughty Dog, get on it! Anywho, with the cop tutorial assignment list, we get introduced to some cop exclusive events. Well, I mean, just the singular event, which is a rapid response. Which that in itself is basically just a time trial, except you have to drive a bit more precisely, because if you crash into anything at high enough speed, you'll lose half a second for each collision. But everything else is the same as the racer events, it's just done from the cop point of view. And let me tell you something about this point of view. You want to feel overpowered? Ever have the fantasy of taking out streetcar bros as the long arm of the law? Good, because in this game, even the starter cop cars will body the shit out of the racer cars in the Hot Pursuit and Interceptor events. I'm not even BSing you. Go to any forum on this game, and everyone who has platinumed this game or even just played both careers, almost all unanimously agree that the cop career is by far the easier campaign to finish, and it's not even close. Who would have thought that not having to worry about a constant adversary every time you poke a headlight out of the garage would make things more enjoyable? Like, okay, I get it. Technically, realistically, it should be this way. Cops would have more at their disposal and don't have to worry about themselves getting arrested. But remember, this is Need for Speed, where I'm pretty sure all the games are about you living some form of racer fantasy, and last I checked, most of those fantasies didn't include looking left and right before crossing the road to make sure a cop doesn't magically pop in from the sky and bust you. God damn, this game gets me riled up. Okay, well, back on the game. When I finished the assignment list and turned it into the command post, I officially finish the tutorial and can start the game properly. I decided to go back to the racer career to do that first and start chapter 1 of the campaign. I then choose the Ford Mustang for trophy specific reasons and then start my first real speed list. As you might imagine, the objectives on the list start off pretty simple and quick to finish, but as you move further up, you'll have more things that you need to do, which can sometimes take a bit of time. After doing a few lists, I get into chapter 2 of the campaign, titled The Beast Has Awoken. At this point, I don't even know if the devs knew how cringe this was as they made it, or if they unironically, wholeheartedly thought that this was the coolest shit on the planet. I keep doing this loop for a while until I finish the speed list to get me to rank 5, which unlocks my next trophy, Racer Rank 5, for getting to said rank as a racer. I then do an event that the tutorial didn't showcase, which are called Interceptor events. These are in both racer and cop careers, and as a racer, your goal is to escape the cop that shows up, and as a cop, you need to then take down the racer. These are really easy on both sides of the coin, because you can just use your pursuit tech weapons to just wreck the opponent for the easy win. But not for this one that I'm doing, because it's the easiest one. And speaking of this event, this one is going to come in very clutch because you can exploit the hell out of it for some trophies early on. After you escape the cop, which is pretty easy to do, you can restart the event right away, which keeps your heat level and point multiplier. Heat level determines how severe the cops will be on you, and the multiplier is for your speed points that you rack up. You just keep repeating this event until you get your heat level and your multiplier to 10. I did this myself, and when I went back to the hideout, I got the trophies 10 heat and a multiplier. There's also another easy trophy that you can get with this method, but I ended up doing that later. And with that done, I start up chapter 3 of the story. I mentioned earlier that I chose the Ford Mustang when I started the career. That's because this game tied a few trophies to Ford-specific cars, which is weird because that isn't the case for any other car manufacturer represented in the game. It must have been some kind of licensing deal or something. One of those trophies is called Deep Down You Know You Want To, or You Know You Want, I don't know, I didn't write it, I might have wrote it wrong, which you get for driving a total of 50 minutes in Ford cars. I ended up getting it while I was doing chapter 3 speed lists. Speaking of, when I finish the 10th speed list, I make my way to the hideout to turn it in, and I get Racer Rank 10 for achieving the 10th rank as a racer. And this list also puts me into chapter 4 of the campaign. Something you may or may not be curious about at this point is whether the hideouts are really something you have to do with each speed list. And if you were pondering that, the answer is yes. Every time you finish a speed list, you must go back to a hideout so you can turn it in and choose a new one. This is my last major issue I have with this game. When you think about it, this game is constantly taking you out of its world. And unless you're just mucking about, you will only be playing for like 30 minutes tops at a time before you have to go to a hideout or a command post as a cop so you can continue on. I obviously don't have an answer for why this is the case, because I obviously wasn't there, but my guess is this was the compromise the devs came up with to deal with the fact that this game is active at all times and you can't pause it. Because if you could, I can easily see them being able to implement some kind of quick list feature where you can choose your next speed list or assignment list from the pause menu instead of having to find the nearest hideout each time you just want to progress further. But someone at EA just needed this game to be more active and alive than my IBS, so we get this crappy gameplay loop instead. Why, EA? Why? As I progress through the Chapter 4 speed list, I also do my first Hot Pursuit event. Like I ranted about earlier, these are races, but you start them off with the police already pursuing you, and you will not be able to escape them pretty much at all during the race, and you'll have to deal with them after the race is over, so have fun with that. But before long, I get to Chapter 5, which is called Sheep's Clothing. If you were wondering what the story could be for this game, allow me to give a quick summary. You play as some unshown racer guy. Oh wait, hold on, actually I think I forgot. Your name is Zephyr? I think? Maybe? I don't know. And you drive for freedom, thrill, and America or something. Naturally, the police try to stop you, so you and the nation of drivers, no, they don't call themselves that, I just made it up, see the police as rivals, and what apparently ensues is escalating car chases and car crashes. During the fighting, a police officer gets hospitalized, and then the federal government gets involved and sends this special unit called the VRT, or Vehicle Response Team, to take control of those little rascal racers. The VRT is comprised of ex-racers and top-tier Navy SEALs level drivers, but you're a big bad racer boy and you aren't scared of this at all. So much so that you end up stealing a police car and use it to wreck some other cops on the road. Amidst this chaos, some new racer named Fate, yes that is the word Fate spelled with the 8, issues an open call to all racers, but we see through this and realize that this guy is actually a cop.
He's a cop!
But that storyline kind of just goes nowhere, and at the end of the game, you end up getting into a crash and is presumed dead. Or are you? Oh, and all the while, you're being an extra spicy edgelord supreme with extra onions during the monologues at the start of each chapter. With the plot summarized, I'm just gonna speed run through the rest of the trophies I got during the racer career. While I was doing the Chapter 7 speed lists, I went back to repeat that Interceptor event I spoke about before, so I could rack up 500,000 speed points. Once I got the points I needed and banked them at the hideout, I got the trophy Bigger Points. By the way, Chapter 7 is called Devils for Devils, and what in the hell does that even mean? From here, I just kept playing and completing speed lists until I reached rank 20, which netted me my next trophy, Racer Rank 20, for getting to said rank. With this, I make it to Chapter 8, and I have one more rank to do in order to finish the career mode. The task is the same no matter which speed list you choose, and you have to finish the Hot Pursuit event called Grand Tour. For those that have already done this platinum, or at least beaten the racer career, this event sent shivers down gamers' spines because this event can be a doozy. There's nothing particularly special about the event, except the fact that it's 28 miles, or 45 kilometers for those that use the inferior metric system, and will take at least 5 minutes, but upwards to 10 for some players to complete. And that's if you complete it on your first try. If you wreck, which is not hard to do given how long the event is, you gotta do it all over again. Now, when I got my platinum for this video, I did end up winning the event first try, but when I did this on the PS3, holy crap, I understood real quick why people had issues with this event. It doesn't help that the PS3 version can't seem to handle you going so fast for a long period of time, which made the game lag like crazy and not perform as well, but that's beside the point. This event can be pretty grueling, but right after you complete it, you'll get thrown into more cutscenes, which acts as the career's last chapter, and after it plays out, you get the credits with one song playing on repeat the entire time, might I add, and you get introduced into what this game calls Career Plus. You are now free to choose any speed list you want in order to complete them all. And for trophy's sake, you will have to complete all but one, so get ready to hunker down for those. But before I started that, I went ahead and quickly bought 10 cars that I had unlocked in order to get the trophy Professional Collector. At this point, the only thing left to do as a racer is just complete speed lists. When I did my 40th one, I got the trophy Racer Rank 40. And when I did my 60th one, I got the trophy Racer Rank 60. And that wrapped up the trophies I needed for the racer career. I will add in that you'll want to get as many golds as possible from the events in the world, because you need 100 total across the racer and cop careers. There's somewhere between 120 and 140 events total between the two campaigns, so you do have some wiggle room, but you will want to keep this in mind. Now I begin the cop career. Something neat that you'll notice with the cop career is that for every car that is in the game, there's actually 3 versions of it. There's a standard one, an enforcer, and an undercover variant. They all have different stats to help you focus on a specific trait. Enforcers will generally have more strength and durability, while undercovers will be faster. A really cool idea, actually. As for the story, you go through a lot of the same story beats presented in the racer career, just told through the cop's lens, with some extra bits sprinkled in. And again, the cop's story is actually more sensical and has a sense of real progression. You start off just trying to get the racers off the street, but after the police captain gets hospitalized, you realize that you have to be more aggressive in order to win. But when that doesn't work and the public starts throwing stones at the police force, the player driver gets fed up with how things are and becomes an initiate for the VRT once they enter the story. You go through the training with them and become part of the team, and because the VRT plays by their own rules, you get more freedom on how to take down the racers and try to bring it into the insanity. You end up becoming Fate, I think, I wasn't actually paying that much attention, and go through the whole thing, or that whole thing. And in the end, you're the one that takes down Zephyr to hopefully bring an end to everything. But maybe not? Maybe you go completely rogue and become a racer yourself? I'm not sure, I don't know. Because the cutscene that played afterwards at the end was very vague and confusing, and it seemed to actually go back to the racer for some reason, or at least it sounded like the racer guy. I don't even know, man. In any case, that's pretty much the cop story, and since I've now explained it, I can get right to the trophies. The first one I got as a cop is the Cop Rank 5 trophy, which I got after turning in my 5th assignment list. The other thing that happened after turning in this list is that I unlocked the Ford Shelby. And just like the racer career, there are some Ford exclusive trophies for cops as well. So I go ahead and switch over to that car, which ended up carrying me for like half the career. After getting to chapter 4, I finally unlocked the trophy, license and registration, please. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to say that in some crappy southern accent, but I can't do that. So it's supposed to be license and registration, please, but whatever. And I get that for busting 10 racers in a Mustang, even though I was driving a Dodge Charger at the time, but let's not worry about that. Soon after this, I completed my 10th assignment list, which netted me my next trophy, Cop Rank 10. The other reason why I stuck with the Ford Shelby for so long was that I needed to rack up 50 seconds of total airtime in Ford cars for another trophy. It took a while into the cop career to get, and I didn't do much of it when I was a racer, because like I said before, even just driving around finding jumps in the world, you can still start a pursuit, and I didn't want to deal with that, so I just saved most of it for the cop side of the story. But once I finally got enough time, I received the trophy 5432 Mach 1. And side note, you don't have to be a cop to get this trophy. Like I said, I just did it all as a cop, but you could have gotten this as a racer. Another little funny aside, while I was trying to complete assignment list 14, my game ended up crashing twice. Let me know down below if this game crashed on you at all. Sometime later, I ended up busting my 50th racer as a cop during an event, which got me my next trophy, Bust 50. Bust 50 for me too, game. The next trophy I got was by a complete accident. So I was repeating an interceptor event to fulfill one of the tasks off of an assignment list. The racer started at heat level 2 or 3. but I guess its heat level was going up somehow as I repeated the event, because when I got to like my third time completing it, I ended up getting the trophy 5 Buster for taking out a racer with heat level 5, but I swear the heat level never changed and it never showed me that it was at a 5 during the event, but I mean, whatever, I'll take it at this point. I just kept moving up the ranks from here and getting gold on every event that I did, and while I was in the Chapter 7 assignment lists, I ended up getting my 100th gold along with the trophy Gold Master for doing so. And after I got to Chapter 8, I continued just climbing the ranks until I got to my 20th assignment list, and after I turned it in at the command post, I got the trophy Cop rank 20 for completing my 20th list. This also led straight into Chapter 9 and the last event of the Cop career. And compared to the last list in the Racer career, this one is so easy, it's almost laughable. All it is just an interceptor event, and as long as you're in one of the later game vehicles you unlock, you will win this in no time. Admittedly, I did get a little unlucky in my first few goes because the one thing that makes this tricky is that the racer will be coming in hot. And if you aren't fast enough right away, he will escape and you will lose the event. However, if you do get enough speed early on, like right away, he'll actually slow down for some reason. And it is at this point, the event becomes a cakewalk. Like, let me show you how my winning attempt went in full so you can see what I'm talking about. Roll it! That took like what, 40 seconds? Maybe? Like I said, piss easy compared to the gauntlet race that you have to do as the racer career. And even better, the racer is at heat level 10 or something, so you're guaranteed to get the trophy 8 Buster for taking down a racer with heat level 8 or higher if you didn't already have it, but this is how I got it. Similarly to the racer career, right after you complete the event, you get thrown right into the last chapter of the Cop career, ending cinematics, and then the credits. Also similarly to the racer career, you now have Career Plus for the Cop campaign, and you'll have to complete the rest of the assignment list for the Cop career until you reach rank 60. And on my way to this milestone, I picked up a couple trophies along the way. First was the trophy Cop rank 40 after I completed my 40th assignment list. Right after this, I decided to fully upgrade the pursuit tech for one of my vehicles. And by fully upgrade, that only applies to cars that have a level 4 upgrades available, so it has to be one of the later game cars. And once I did and applied both weapon slots, I got the trophy Upgrade Master. The last thing for the Cop career was getting to rank 60. When I finally completed the 60th assignment list and turned it in, I got the trophy Cop rank 60 for doing so. And at this point, there were only 2 trophies left to do, and they are the 2 reasons why I'm playing this game in the first place. Both trophies are online only trophies as they require you to do specific things with someone off of your friends list. Since I have both a PS4 and a PS5, I just did this myself with my alternate account that I have. What you had to do is bust someone off of your friends list as a cop and win a race against a friend as a racer. Something of note with these trophies, especially for those who choose to do this with alternate accounts by themselves or something, you have to make sure that both profiles show up in game as being online. Because I first tried to just send an invite to my other account to a private game, and that actually ended up working. Like, the game didn't register it for some odd reason. I first had to create an EA Origins account with my alternate PSN ID, then do the tutorial with that account, and then make sure that their account showed up as active in game on my main account. Then the game will register both of you, like you actually like it's like valid at that point, I guess. Just putting out that PSA out for anyone who was going to go for this platinum. Regardless, if you get through that hurdle, the 2 trophies themselves are actually very simple and easy to get. I first did the Cop one. Once both my accounts were in the same game, I just hopped into a Cop car and then just full steam ahead, wrecked my alt account car, and quickly got the trophy Buddy Bust. I then switched to Eraser, went to where my alt account was, and started a head-to-head race. These ones actually do count for the trophy, and it's actually recommended that you do this over like an official race event. But keep in mind that both racers have to finish the race. So keep that in mind if you're going to self-boost this. This can be tricky because the police are still just as annoying and can bust either racer. Luckily, I didn't run into much of an issue with this myself, and I managed to get both racers over the finish line. Once I did, I got the trophy, friendly race, along with the platinum trophy. Overall, it's hard to say if this game is worth getting the platinum before the server shut down and it becomes just unobtainable. I mean, it isn't hard per se, but it's also not that good of a game either. So I don't know if it's worth it. I mean, I guess for those looking for another racing game to platinum or just fans of the franchise, I mean, yeah, sure, go ahead and get it. I mean, if you don't already have it. But like for anyone outside of that or just has like a passing interest, I don't know. I don't know, maybe? I guess what matters most is that like just know what you're getting into with this platinum so that you aren't completely blindsided by the cringe and the in-game BS that you'll have to deal with. But in any case, that wraps up this one. If you made it this far, you the bestest. I have a lot of ideas for other games to make platinum videos on, and I'm actually pondering the idea of doing a platinum guide for Wushang Fallen Feathers, similarly to the guides that I made for both Black Myth Wukong and Eliza P. But any event, keep your eyes open on this channel for when I drop my next video. In the meantime, I have been going live from time to time to play Dark Souls 2, so try and catch me if you see me live. And with that, I will see you all in the next one.